Hello everybody, it's Dr. Steve back with another episode of Core Wellness TV. I have been getting a lot of comments lately on the Reverse CPS Now program. Whenever people get subscribed and get the free video series, they are talking a lot about, well, if I have a disc problem, what exercises should I do or should I avoid? And I'm going to address the disc today because it is a very important and very limiting injury that a lot of people have that are affecting their life. So the first thing about discs you need to know is that you have to avoid the motions that cause the damage to begin with. And what is the number one motion that damages the disc? That is what's called spinal flexion. Anytime your low back is rounded like this, you are loading your discs. And the more you load your discs, the more you damage the outside layer. They're like a tree trunk on the outside. These lamina, these layers of the tree trunk, if you cut a tree trunk in half, that's what it looks like. And as you damage those tissues with repetitive flexion, the material that's on the inside of the disc is like the consistency of toothpaste, starts to work its way through those damaged layers until it pokes its head out. And when it pokes its head out, it sends off alarm bells for the nervous system and for the immune system and for the, especially the immune system. What happens is when it pops out there, it says, the immune system says, uh-oh, you're not supposed to be here. So it sends all kinds of inflammatory mediators to the area to try and clean up the mess because it's a foreign material to that area. So you have to understand that a lot of the pain, a lot of the swelling, a lot of the restriction and constriction on nerves and things that go down your legs and such is due to the inflammation around the area. So one of the biggest and most important things that I have people do is calm the inflammation. Now you can do that, and that's why steroid injections work for people. That's why anti-inflammatory medications work for people. But the problem with those things is they block the pain, they reduce the swelling, but they impair the healing process. That's a very important piece of the puzzle, is they actually impair the healing process. Think about when you get cortisone, it's like 4 times the strength of your cortisol that you make in your body, and that stuff deteriorates your bones. That's why you say you're not allowed to have more than 3 of those. So let's look at some natural options. What I use is proteolytic enzymes. These can be plant-based enzymes like bromelain or papain from pineapples and papaya, or they can be animal-based in the form of pancreatic enzymes. And what that does, you take these on an empty stomach, and you basically, the inflammation that pulls up around your area of inflammation can be basically what the enzymes do is they go in there and they gobble up the inflammatory proteins that are at the site of injury. And so you can decrease the amount of swelling substantially by using these proteolytic enzymes. But you have to take them on an empty stomach, because if you take them on a full stomach, you will just digest the proteins in the food that you're taking them with. So that's why empty stomach, 30 minutes before or an hour and a half after. Okay, I'll have a link to some enzymes that I use, and we also use a Wobenzym purchased in stores, and there's other forms of enzymes out there, but those are the one I post below, and the Wobenzym are the 2 that I recommend. Regardless, out of that, so you can do that 3 or 4 times a day. You can take these, 3 or more of these capsules or these tablets throughout the day on an empty stomach. That'll start decreasing the inflammation. Now, the other thing that you need to do is you need to unload it, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the exact same sheet that I give to all my sciatica and disc sufferers in my practice. I'm going to post that on my Facebook page. And what you do is you just go there and like my page, and you'll see that you can have access to this disc sciatica, call it like a first aid guide. It shows you the decompression position to put your back in that takes the most load off of it. And it starts to show you the basic simple exercises that are kind of based in yoga and also based on the McKenzie method of disc treatment and assessment. You'll get those, and if you're locked to the side, it shows you how to fix a locked back. And like I said, this is the first aid that I give out to my patients and my clients whenever they come in with a disc problem, because we can't really go to rehabilitation very strongly if we have pain on board from a disc injury. So that being said, there are some exercises that you can do with a disc injury if we are not loading the disc. So it's important to remember that if you are in excruciating pain and you have pain radiating down your legs, you do not want to just jump in and start in on any exercise that has any flexion at all in it. Remember flexion, this. So one of the biggest things to think about when exercising for a low back disc is maintaining a flat back at all times. And I like making people practice the hip hinge. I say, see this? This is flexion. Stay out of it, okay? And especially if you flex and twist at the same time, that's a prescription for disaster. So just practicing the simple hip hinge maneuver is very powerful. And the main purpose of that hip hinge, again, is to help you do your daily activities without continuing to damage the tissue. That means things as simple as brushing your teeth or putting on your makeup in the bathroom or doing the dishes in the kitchen or whatever it is. Picking up your child, you have to maintain a flat back and you have to keep your brace on. Your internal brace or your deep core system has to be on. And remember how we do that is we check right underneath your ribs all the way around. You stick your thumbs below your ribs in the back and you bring your forefinger around your ribs in the front, and you have to be able to brace. You have to be able to brace and have your hands go outward, okay? And ideally we want the breath to be able to create that for us, okay? That brace is what keeps your spine nice and stable, because if you're not using that brace and you're moving any old way, you're going to continue to allow your joints to go further than they're supposed to, and they're going to get damaged in the process. So you have to maintain that spinal brace all the time. And remember, your breathing is your brace. We talk a lot more about the function of the diaphragm and the breathing and core stability in the Reverse CPS Now course, but that's for a later date if you choose to do that. Now, but I want you to get it today though. I want you to make sure that you're hinging from the hips at all times with any disc injury. And I want you to go to the Facebook page, like the page, and you'll get that download there. It'll be on the wall there. And I want you guys to have this so you can get out of this disc problem as soon as possible and into doing corrective rehabilitative exercises for your posture. Okay? So I hope that helps. If it did, please leave me a comment below. If you have any other questions about this, please do the same. Leave a comment down below. We will see you next time. Keep thinking good thoughts, eating good food, and remember to keep moving functionally with good core stability and bracing. See you later.